Actually, before I talk about this, it's going to take a little while. I'm talking about next season. And I want to thank again our wonderful donor sponsor, Dorothy Van sitting right here. She's such a good donor that she didn't even let me ask for money this year. She gave the check before I asked. It's like, wow. You know, I just talked to her, it's like, wow, you didn't even give me the work to call and say, I need this amount of money. She's wonderful. We wouldn't have this as if it wasn't for her. And if anybody else wants to sponsor a concert, it goes somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000 to bring great soloists and everything. So you can always write a check for us at the end. If you can be there to help you to write that check. Anyway, next year I'm already working on the season. You should have it for the last concert of this season. I'm planning fantastic musicians, fantastic program again, and it's amazing that a community orchestra like this is playing so well, and we can bring, you know, top-notch players from all over the world, which is happening in the last 3 years, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, now, we're gonna have this piece. You can see we don't have two pianos, so one is a clavinova, but pretty good sound, matches pretty good the piano, because it's the dual of the pianos of the famous piece Carnival of Animals. And Camille Saint-Saëns was not very happy about the piece because he wrote for friends, and then he didn't let them play because he was ashamed a little bit. He actually making musical jokes in this piece. You know, there's even the can-can here, in a very slow movement, because it's the movement for the turtles. So remember when he says turtles here, you're going to remember that I said it's the can-can, and you're going to recognize the can-can, the slowest pace you ever heard in your life. So he's making fun of all these musicians. There's quotes from all kind of, you know, from Berlioz to Rossini, and so he was a little bit ashamed of the piece in the sense that, you know, thought he would destroy his career. Much the contrary, it made a lot of his career because this piece is now loved all over the world. And one of the most famous pieces of this is the famous Swan, played by the cello solo here. Zoran, that is there now behind the piano, he will do the solo. And actually, very interesting, because Zoran is a luthier in town. He has his own shop. He's playing his own cello, which is already sold. And the guy who sold, he sold for, said, you can play this concert still. So he's saying goodbye to this nice cello that he made. I cannot see your face now, so I don't know if you're making funny faces. But you know, if you need a violin repair or anything, Zoran is here for you. Grant and Campbell is his shop right there. So trust me, I'm getting a commission. How much was that sold for? I'm sure a commission of that amount was really nice, huh? But anyway, almost, no? Too much to connect here. So this piece, it talks about animals and etc. And we'll have a narration that was done, I think, you know, I'm not very good at dates, but I think 1933. The piece was composed in 1886 and was not full performed until 1922. I might be wrong with these dates, don't trust me on that. But it's something around that. And this British composer, I think, Ogden Nash, wrote a poem about this. There's many others written after, but this is the oldest one, the original one. And there's funny jokes there, you will love it. We'll have a narration for that. And so, good? Done? So let me get out of here first. I know I cannot even get to my podium. Let me invite to the stage to do our narration, our special guest, Kevin Black.
Camille Saint-Saëns. was racked with pains when people addressed him as Saint Sains. He held the human race to blame because it could not pronounce his name, so he turned with metronome and fife to glorify other kinds of life. Be quiet, please, for here begins his salute to feathers, fur, and fins. Royal March of the Lion. The lion is the king of beasts and husband of the lioness. Gazelles and things on which he feasts address him as Your Highness. There are those that admire that roar of his in the African jungles and velds, but I think that wherever the lion is, I'd rather be somewhere else. Wild asses. Have you ever harked to the jackass wild, which scientists call the onager? It sounds like the laugh of an idiot child or a hep cat on a harmoniker. But do not sneer at the jackass wild. There is a method in his hee-haw. For with maidenly blush and accent mild, the jenny-ass answers, she-haw. my name in stone immortal. I know the tortoise is a tortle. I know, to my profound despair, I bet on one to beat a hare. I also know I'm now a pauper because of its tortly, turtly torpor. Elephants are useful friends equipped with handles at both ends. They have a wrinkled moth-proof hide. Their teeth are upside down, outside. If you think the elephant preposterous, you've probably never seen a rhinoceros. The kangaroo can jump incredible. He has to jump because he's edible. I could not eat a kangaroo, but many fine Australians do. Those with cookbooks as well as boomerangs prefer him in tasty kangaroo meringues. Some fish are minnows, some are whales. People like dimples, fish like scales. Some fish are slim and some are round. They don't get cold, they don't get drowned. But every fishwife fears for her fish. What we call mermaids, they call merfish. People with long ears. In the world of mules, there are no rules. It's pretty good. In the world of mules. The cuckoo in the middle of the wood. Cuckoos lead bohemian lives. They fail as husbands and as wives. Therefore, they cynically disparage everybody else's marriage. Aviary. Puccini was Latin and Wagner Teutonic, and birds are incurably Philharmonic. Suburban yards and rural vistas are filled with avian Andrew sisters. The skylark sings a roundelay, the crow sings the road to Mandalay, the nightingale sings a lullaby, the seagull sings a lullaby. That's what shepherds listened to in Arcadia before somebody invented the radio. Pianists. Some claim that pianists are human and quote the case of Mr. Truman. Sanson, upon the other hand, considered them a scurvy band. A blight they are, he said, and simian instead of normal men and women. Fossils. At midnight, in the museum hall, the fossils gathered for a ball. There were no drums or saxophones, but just the clatter of their bones. A rolling, rattling, carefree circus of mammoth polkas and mazurkas. Pterodactyls and brontosauruses sang ghostly prehistoric choruses. Amid the mastodonic bustle, I caught the eye of one small fossil. "Cheer up, sad world," he said, and winked. "It's kind of fun to be extinct." The swan. The swan can swim while sitting down. For pure conceit, he wears the crown. He looks in the mirror over and over and claims to have never heard of Pavlova. Now we've reached the grand finale. Animale Carnivale. Noises new to sea and land issue from the skillful band. All the strings contort their features, imitating crawly creatures. All the brasses look like mumps from blowing oompa, oompa, umps. In outdoing Barnum and Bailey and Ringling, Sanson has done a miraculous thingling.